Right now, the increasing rate of youth unemployment before and during the COVID-19 pandemic is often seen as one of the most significant challenges for economies both in developed and developing countries. And part of the reason surrounding unemployment in Africa is the lack of skills. And this speaks to the projections of US-based consulting firm Conferry that sees the demand for skilled workforce exceeding supply worldwide by 2030 and possibly resulting in an overall global talent shortage of more than 85.2 million people. Now, as stated in a report by PwC, despite rising business confidence equating to more jobs, organizations are struggling to find the right people to fill these positions. Well, the monitoring and evaluation specialist at Jobberman Nigeria, Olufemi Balogun, joins us now to hold this conversation on how to close the skills gap, especially right here in Nigeria. Good morning, Mr. Balogun. Thanks for joining us on the program. A global PwC survey of more than 1,300 CEOs in 8 countries found that CEOs in Africa, of course, 96% of them, are most concerned about the lack of skills. Tell us how we got here.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, and good morning, everyone. I think there are many reasons why we got here, but the dominant narrative around it is the gaps that exist within our education system. So the curriculum particularly does not prepare young people effectively to take up jobs in the world of work. And now the world of work, has been shaped and increasingly being shaped by the dynamics of globalization and technological advancements. And, COVID-19 has come to accelerate all of this. So there are gaps in technical abilities, there are gaps in soft skills abilities, as well as digital skills. So that's where, the dominant narrative around why employers are finding it difficult to find the right talent these days.
Now, today we see employers struggling to find the skilled workers and graduates find it hard to meet the criteria even for entry-level jobs. Yet, these CEOs still want to employ these fresh hands. What's responsible for this imbalance of supply and demand? Is it the quality of tertiary institutions, for instance, or the quality of education that failed to shape the graduates as well?
Okay, so now we're going into layers of the issue around curriculum. First of all, so like I mentioned earlier, the curriculum is not very relevant for industry, and then again, for young graduates who come out of school, they are not very visible, right? In terms of knowing those jobs that are available, and at the same time, job listings for employers is not also it's not also visible to job seekers. So there are, graduates out there who are good, who are capable, but, the visibility of job seekers and the visibility of job listings is another area where, gaps need to be closed. And that's where Jobberman plays a huge role in connecting employers to job seekers and, creating value for their business, helping to create value for their businesses.
What workplace skills are considered most important for job seekers to have when they are being interviewed for roles?
Okay, so it's a mix of technical abilities and soft skills as well as digital skills. But more and more from our work, we are finding that employers are paying a little bit more attention to a combination of mindset, skills, and abilities. And the emphasis here is on soft skills. Employers are looking for young people who are able to, think critically, manage complex projects and situations at the same time, are able to problem solve on their feet, are able to communicate effectively, and also demonstrate confidence and leadership. These are the kinds of competencies we are finding that employers are beginning to emphasize. But unfortunately, many of these skills are not mainstreamed within the curriculum in our universities.
Now, talking about the Nigerian universities now, between the Nigerian universities, employers and employees, who should be closing the skills gap and how?
Okay, so I'll say two things. First of all, closing the skills gap. There's a role for private sector. right? There's a role for private sector, and Jobberman, is at the front line of this, and we're providing competence-based assessments, both for technical skills and soft skills, to help young people, become ready for the workplace. But the second thing I would also say is that everybody has a responsibility, right? Government, academia, private sector, everyone has a responsibility here. So I look forward to a world, where there's an integrated approach, and everyone working together to ensure that our curriculum is relevant for the workplace. The dynamics of the workplace is changing really fast. Industry is changing really fast. AI, machine learning, and many of the jobs that will be available in the future are going to be automated. So we need to make our curriculum effective and relevant so that young people now and in the future can find jobs, and employers can also find talent to move their organizations towards productivity.
And as we seek to find these talents now, where does the government come in here, and what can the Nigerian Universities Commission do differently?
So what government and the Nigerian Universities Commission can do differently is, first of all, reach out to industry. Because industry, they're the ones, taking up this talent from the universities. And so that conversation between government, universities, and industry needs to happen. When that collaboration happens, then there's it facilitates an understanding about, the changing dynamics of the workplace, and how the universities now need to begin to rethink and retool their universities to become, so that their students and talent become relevant for industry. Otherwise, we still have a big problems in our hands.
But we've seen how the pandemic has led to job cuts and pay cuts. Tell us, how well can proper workplace skills secure an average employee from being fired?
Okay, so for a regular employee in the workplace, there's a need to begin to upskill themselves in two key areas, in the soft skills and also in their digital skills abilities. And I'm glad to say here that Jobberman is currently providing free soft skills training and free soft skills as competence assessments to young for employees who want to upskill themselves in this area, right? And in the second area, we're also providing digital skills to close the skills gap. And this is another area where job seekers and employees need to begin to pay attention to. Now we're in the new normal. Everybody's working from home, and this requires that more and more we are using tech tools to be able to work as a team, and also provide deliver on the job. And so technical and digital skills are now very important for employees, and so they need to begin to pay attention to these things.
All right. Just recently, we saw hundreds of employees of airlines lose their jobs, of course, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And considering the magnitude of the pandemic on the economy and organizations now, how do we get to strike a balance between skilled talent retention and existing issues of firms? Okay, so skills. So first of all, employers will need to rethink their businesses and how they are, engaging their customers, right? And so businesses will need to now, think about new ways to engage their customers online, and also begin to study and understand how their customers are changing, right? And so for an employee who wants to be relevant in the workplace today, he or she must also be thinking in this direction, so that they can, effectively provide value for clients, and so that their business can also remain relevant within this period of the pandemic. But now that employers are in need of world-class and highly skilled workforce, what are the alternatives to secure qualified candidates?
Okay, so the alternative now is to provide, tools to help job seekers and employees to, to stay and remain relevant. For instance, they want to take trainings and courses in soft skills to develop their competencies in that area. I think that's very key right now. They also want to take courses to improve their digital abilities as well as their technical abilities. And also for employers who are seeking to bring in fresh and young talent, they might want to also think about rethink how they are recruiting in terms of providing, first of all, competence-based tests and also soft skills tests or assessments to be sure of the candidates they are bringing into their organizations. And Jobberman is in the forefront of this, providing this competence and soft skills assessments for job seekers as well as employees.
Now, just before you go, Mr. Balogun, there are quite a number of social investment schemes that the government has put in place, of course, the likes of the N-Powers and all. Can such initiatives serve as a springboard for skilled workers?
Absolutely, it can. And, at the moment, we're also working with state governments in pockets of the country, in Lagos, Kano, and Kaduna, to help provide soft skills training to the Empower candidates. And I think that the integration, and that's the integration I'm talking about, and collaboration with government to help provide additional skills to tool and retool our young graduates so that they are relevant for the workplace.
Monitoring and evaluation specialist at Jobberman Nigeria, Olufemi Balogun, thanks for speaking with us on the program.
Thank you very much.